Hi everyone. It seems very, very strange to think that Obama, now that he's restoring ties with Cuba after 50 years, that there could be a chocolate connection. This is just unbelievable. Well, anyway, so the U.S. is restoring ties with Cuba after 50 years, and Cuba, to me, has always been such an interesting place, but the history is really tragic, you know. I was reading on Wikipedia that even now, people make 20 US dollars per month. And I can verify that because I was in Japan and I met a Cuban woman who was studying at a university to be a doctor because they really value education in Cuba. And she invited me to visit her in Cuba someday, and she said, but don't expect me to be able to pay for anything. She said, in fact, you will have to buy my coffee because that's what they make. I didn't even really realize it. So I'm just looking into this a little bit, and this is what is the motive? Why are they suddenly restoring ties after 50 years? Do you realize that there was a famine in Cuba also, and they, according to Wikipedia, they ate anything, cats and the local zoo animals. This is how bad it was. So, don't they say follow the money? U.S. to restore ties with Cuba after 50 years. Unbelievable. Full diplomatic relations. Obama, and now sanctions on Russia. This is, I mean, what's going to happen in Russia? Are they going to go hungry? I don't understand all of this. Anyway, people are happy. I'll just show you some of these websites and pages I have out. Look at this, chocolate shortage. Okay, this is in the news just recently. The great chocolate shortage. The cocoa crisis, November 21st, 2014. It's a growing market. Chocolate sales in China have doubled in the past to Chinese and Indian consumption. To explain the chocolate shortage, okay, everybody's just eating it up, but where does chocolate come from? Cocoa beans from Cuba. Well, it's one place. And also I have a friend here who is a refugee from the Ivory Coast, and he said, oh yeah, chocolate is chocolate, cocoa, harvesting cocoa beans and chocolate is common in the Ivory Coast, but they will never get to eat it. It goes to the West. This is really sad. Oh my goodness. Look, Race to Save the World's Chocolate, November 17th, 2014. The world could be heading toward a global shortage of chocolate, November 17th, 2014. And then in December, 1 month later, Obama restores relations with Cuba. Okay, let me show you something else. Look at this. This is an article that just came out 3 hours ago. Did you know Hershey built towns in Cuba? Well, I looked at this and I looked at all of the photos and everything, and they built, they're called centrals. Centrals means sugar town or chocolate town. And they built railroads. Okay, 1923. You can look at the pictures if you go to this site. Tiny Cuban town near duplicate of our Hershey town. Down in Cuba, they were really into it. This is a hot topic, the chocolate. And then just think about Poroshenko. in Ukraine, which I mentioned in another video, and his chocolate company, it's like a number, I forgot what number it is in hierarchy of chocolate companies, but just behind Lindt, whose chocolates were stolen 260 tons, 260,000 tons of chocolate, of Lindt chocolate stolen. So what is going on? And it's scarce, okay? So, okay, chocolate prices. Hershey and Mars, which together account for about 2/3 of chocolate sales, are hiking prices. Hershey cited the rising cost of cocoa. Okay, so definitely they are aware of what Cuba could offer in the way of cocoa production, don't you think? I don't know. And the cocoa producers in Cuba, the state owns everything in Cuba, and they take 70%, and the people, the farmers that do all the work, only get 30%. They can barely live, and it's very complicated. I watched a video how they have to oh look, here come higher chocolate prices. The chocolate wars are happening. Okay, let me show you another one. I looked up Cuba's exports. Okay, the mecca of cocoa in Cuba. Cuba exports byproducts, cocoa production a priority in Cuban agriculture. So just think, you know, okay, November 19th, this is in the news all of a sudden in our consciousness. So we have chocolate consciousness. Not only that, but someone came to visit me from France. I just didn't really know her, but she came here and I met her at the airport, and it turns out she makes handmade chocolates and gives workshops on chocolate. And in Hong Kong, we walked by a Godiva store, and we calculated how much each piece of Godiva chocolate cost. So one of these pieces is $2 and approximately $2.50. So I think that might be the same for See's candy, which is popular in the USA, or on the West Coast anyway. $2.50. So maybe about 5 of these, 4, 5 or 6 of these, 3 times 6 is 18. So this is 1 month's wages in Cuba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 month's wages. So if you look up videos, this is really a good one here. Okay, I'll just show you a little bit, because what's interesting about this is a guy in someone's kitchen showing how it's made. I just move it up here a little bit because it's really great. Just what you imagine, you know. Look at this refrigerator with fruit magnets, and it has a plastic tablecloth on the table. This is how poor people in Cuba live.
Right.
This is cocoa
It's
butter.
very medicinal, but after sunburn, you can use it on the skin and hydrates your skin. We can use it also as a massage. Not very solid. We have to put it, for example, a glass with warm water.
Move it up.
Chocolate that was telling you. And it's like this. We take one of these balls, a knife or a grater, and we do like this. On the hot water or the hot milk, principally milk. Huh?
Well, anyway, you can watch this because it is really interesting. But, you know, Bethlehem Steel went into Cuba before, and all these big corporations, and probably that's what they're planning right now. To, it's not just a nice thing to restore relations with Cuba. Something else is going on, and could have something to do with the scarcity of chocolate. And this is, you know, a, it's all about money. So this is Cuban chocolate. They even make Cuban chocolate cigars. And in Cuba, the state takes 90% of, wow, look at this. The state takes 90% of tobacco cigars, real tobacco cigars. But look at how great and homemade all these things look. I hate five-star hotels and all this fake stuff, you know. These, like Godiva chocolates, okay, this is just a little bit too fancy for my taste. Where are they getting this chocolate from? Making these huge profits. Okay, well, the chocolate wars are on, okay? Thank you for watching, and God bless all of you with the truth. May your life be sweet and real. Oh my gosh, look at this. Homemade looking, you know? Are these chocolate cigars? Let's see. Well, they do make chocolate cigars, so bye for now. Beautiful day. God bless you all. Truth and happiness. And stay close to the Holy Spirit most of all, every moment. Remember that God, the Most High is near you, as close as your breath at every moment. You just have to acknowledge Him. He's a person. Cuban chocolate grasshopper pie. Bye for now.